making some maps about wildfires here in Oregon. I'm just going to check, make sure I got a couple things set up. Let me just take a look at this real quick, and then I will get started. All right, cool. Looks like it's working there. It's awesome. Just check on my website, make sure it's working there. I think it is. Just want to make sure though. All right, cool. Yeah, looks like it's working there as well. Excellent. Well, I am, I'll give you just kind of a brief background for this. First of all, I'll say I am posting this, or I'm tweeting directly, or not tweeting directly, sorry. Let me start again. I'm streaming to Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Any of those places, if you're watching, if you post a comment, I will see it on my other screen here. So I love to get feedback from folks. As you'll see, I kind of work through some stuff that I don't necessarily know how to do, so it's often helpful for me actually to get feedback. I also am curious to know just kind of who people are, where you're watching. So if you are up for it, I'd love to have you just post that in the chat. While I wait to see if some things come in, I'm gonna just kind of walk you through what I've been doing. Actually, let me just give the background to this in case I did a live session last week, but I assume not everybody was here. So I'm doing some work for the Ford Family Foundation. It's not the Ford Foundation, it's Ford Family Foundation. They're foundation based here in Oregon. And they have partnered with a couple other foundations here in the state to develop a wildfire relief fund. And so I do some regular work for them, and I wanted to help them out by just starting by building a visualization to help them kind of, get a sense of the magnitude of the fires. So I started out doing that last time. Was just kind of gathering some data, building some preliminary maps. I've done a bit of work between now and then, which I'll actually walk through briefly. And then today I'm going to do some additional things, building some of the maps. So let me actually just start here. So I'm working in R script files for now. I often work in R Markdown, but I am probably just going to send them some PDFs or something like that. So I didn't really, just like making single visualizations seemed totally fine. So in terms of gathering data, I gathered a few different types of data. And basically my workflow here has been, I am gathering everything in a data file or a R script file called import-data. And then I'm basically just saving everything as an RDS file. And then I have a data viz folder where I'm gonna, bring in all those RDS files. RDS files, if you're not familiar, are just our kind of native way to store data. So, after I bring in the data, I'll save it, and then when I'm doing my data viz, I don't need to like rerun everything to download the data, all that. I can just kind of bring in those saved RDS files. So the first thing I brought in was Oregon and Siskiyou. It's just like the boundaries of Oregon, and Siskiyou is the county in California. The Ford Family Foundation works in Oregon, but also in Siskiyou County. So I use the Tigris package to do that using the counties function. And this will make more sense when I am working in the data viz section. I also wanted to show the communities that have been destroyed. So there are a number of towns in Oregon. I should bring this over here. So this is an article from, where is this from? U.S. News and World Report. that talked about several towns that the governor here, Kate Brown, mentioned had been completely destroyed. So like Blue River, Vida, Phoenix, Talent, and Detroit. So I actually just made this manually. What I did is I just made a vector of those town names. I converted it to a tibble, and I set the names as community. So I'll just add a view here and show you. Oh wait, I need to load my packages. So like up to that point, I've just made that. I added the state of Oregon for all of them, and then I'm making a single variable called address, which here you can see that. And then I just use that to geocode using the mutate geocode function from the ggmap package. Just works with the Google Maps, the geocoding API. And then I just converted it. Actually, let me show you what happens when I do that. So you can see it's geocoding them. It adds a longitude and a latitude. And then I save this as an SF object, a simple features object, which is just a type of object for working with spatial data. It just has this geometry column. And then I just save that. I got some evacuation order data, although I'm not very confident with that. I'm not even going to actually really use it today. I'll skip that. I also got some Oregon roads data. I wanted to help people orient themselves by plotting some roads on the map. So I used the primary secondary roads function from Tigris. Basically got roads for Oregon, for California. So you can see I got Oregon roads, California roads, and then I bind them together, and I did this ST transform just to set the coordinate reference systems, and CRS stands for. So I did that. You can see it has like 10,000 something roads. What I did then was I filtered, I did this ST filter, so it would only be those that intersect the Oregon Siskiyou shape file that I have from before, which actually I'll just load that in so I have access to it. So if I do that, you can see this is going to drop. Actually, I'm going to make this a little bigger. This is going to drop from like 10,000 to, well, we'll see how many. I don't remember exactly how many. There we go, like only 3,000, because Siskiyou is just literally like one county in the top of California. And then this part, I'm not going to actually go through this because this is what I was working on a lot last time. I was downloading some GeoJSON files of wildfire perimeters. So I downloaded the files, and I'll post actually the GitHub repo of this. I'll post it in a second. Although I actually have to do a little bit of work because some of the data files are so huge. I have to make sure that they don't, I can't post those because they're too big, but you could just like uncomment that if you wanted to run it to download the files yourself. So yeah, I have, there are 3 different perimeter or data files. There's wildfires current, which just is like the most, the current state of wildfires. Wildfires 2020, which is all wildfires in 2020. And then there's also an all-time, wildfires all-time. And actually, I think I'm going to work with some of that data today. So anyway, I downloaded all that, saved all of those to RDS files. I have a thing down here about working with zip codes, which I may do because I want to, they asked me actually to look at some COVID data and see kind of like where the overlap is between, COVID, or kind of, I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm definitely not trying to do anything super sophisticated, but just basically to look at like kind of in the communities where wildfires hit, to what degree, was there COVID at the same time? Again, not trying to like draw, say like one impacted the other or anything like that, but just really like showing both of those. So I saved all that as an RDS file. All right, cool. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to, I'll leave it open. Actually, no, I'll just close it for simplicity. And I'm just going to restart my session. And I do that periodically just to make sure that I'm working with the data that I want to actually work with. Because, for example, if I were to open this file, I wouldn't know, maybe I'd made some changes to the wildfires current data. Let me just make sure that I'm working with the data that I want to actually be working with. All right, so first thing I did was I just load my packages that I need, tidyverse, janitor, although I don't actually think I need janitor, SF, which is for all the plotting that I'm going to be doing, and then map deck. I was using that for some interactive stuff. Down here just to take a look at some things, although I'm going to be building some static visualizations. And this package TFFF is a package that I've actually built for Ford Family Foundation, and you'll see I use it to access like some of their colors and that kind of thing. So let me go ahead and just run that and import the data. And I'm not going to do the interactive stuff here. I'm going to show you, so I wrote some code here that just makes a static map. Now, I will say working with geospatial data can be kind of slow. So instead of me actually running that again, let me just actually bring up the PDF that this created last time. So if you saw on Twitter, I posted this. This is the plot that I actually made. So here, let me move this to the side. So if we look at, if we look at the code here, you can see what I've done. I've done ggplot and then geom sf, so data equals Oregon Siskiyou roads. And I made those that light gray, that's a hex code for a light gray. So I've just made the roads really light. I just wanted to like have them there so people could see. Then I wanted to use my shapefile for Oregon and Siskiyou. And I made the fill transparent so that everything else can show, like the roads show underneath it. And then the color of it, which is the outline in this case, I made that this TFF colors dark gray is a function that I made to make the colors. And so, like for example, if I were to run that function down here, you see it returns that, which is a hex value for a dark gray that I use when I'm working for Ford Family Foundation. And then, oh, actually, I probably don't even need this anymore. I had set the opacity, so the alpha, to 0.5. That's when I was trying it with a different fill color. But once I set it to fill transparent, it shouldn't really matter. And then last thing I did was I showed I'll show you how I calculate this. Wildfires 2020 at largest. So basically what I did was I made a data frame that just shows the fires at their largest, because the data shows them at several points. And I plotted that, the color, so the outside is transparent, but the fill color, I did this TFF colors red. So you can see, for example, like up here, this is near, so where I live is up here in Portland, and you can see how close some of the fires got. Cool, so that's the map that I made of the fires kind of at their largest. Now I was thinking one thing I might add would be a way, maybe just look at this. Did I bring this in? Yeah, communities destroyed. So I was thinking I might like to also show the communities that are destroyed. So when you're working with an SF object, you can just say data equals, and you don't have to set your aesthetic properties. It just plots it for you. So let me see. I'm just trying to think what color is going to be best to actually show up on this, because obviously some of the communities that were destroyed are going to be, on top of where the fires are. So I think what I'm actually going to do, a good kind of rule of thumb that I like to use, at least in terms of, I always want to try and make my plots colorblind friendly. So I know that blue and orange tend to be a good combination. So let me actually change this. I think there's a TFF colors orange. Yeah. Let me make those blue. So I'm going to run that. It's going to take just a second. And actually, I'll just also save it again. I think I might need to actually make it larger because I think it's probably not going to show up. It's going to be too small. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm actually just going to look at the geom SF to see like what I want to look at the size argument, which I assume I can do size if let's see. Yeah, it looks like I can do I think I can do size. Let me size equals, I don't know, 20 would be big, I think. So I'm even just going to Google it, geom SF size, see what comes up. Yeah, and I can actually see, well, I can even see right here. Yeah, so I can actually see, oh wait, no, that's geom point. Oh no, there we go, geom SF is using size. Okay, perfect. Huh, so it almost seems like geom SF basically like converts it almost like to geom point if it's if it is points, if that's the geometry type, if it's points. There are various geometry types that simple features objects can have. For example, let me bring this back up. Some of these are polygons, for example. The roads, I think, would be like lines. And these are points. Actually, that shows up pretty decently. Although that's actually too big when I look at it down here. I think that was without the size argument. Let me try I'll try size equals 4 just because I saw that in that article and see what that looks like. I'm probably going to add labels as well to those communities. So I know there's a geom SF text. So I'm going to actually add, here, I'll just actually copy that. Geom SF text. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm not going to worry about the size there. All right. Let's see. This does take a long time. So while that's waiting, I'm going to actually think about what all I'm going to want to do today. Let's see, I can add some things in terms of evacuation orders. I might actually just, let me actually take a look. Okay, I'll close that, open it back up. All right, these are way too big. So I'm definitely going to need to make those smaller. All right. Let me just really quick, I'll change that in a second. Let me just try this. So I just want to see, like, if I just plot the evacuation orders, I can't remember what that data looked like. Okay, I think I need to also plot Oregon just to orient myself. Yeah, I think the reason I didn't trust it, I think it was only for a few counties or something like that. Anyway, I'm not going to actually mess with that. What I think I want to do, though, I think I'm going to try and add a dynamic title to this. So what I mean is this. I have my wildfires 2020 at largest, which what I did to make that was I imported the wildfires 2020 data, which, let me actually just show this to you without the, whoops. So if I use this ST drop geometry just to get rid of the geospatial data and just makes it load a lot faster. So what I did was I noticed that there was an incident name here, and I grouped by incident name, and then I used the slice max function, and then I used that to find basically for each incident, for each fire, in other words, the observation where GIS acres was largest. So that's when I used slice max GIS acres n equals 1. So, you know, you can see, like, for each, well, if I like arrange it by incident name, say, you know, the first four are this 138 Alder Creek, whatever that is. So you can see there are 4 rows of observations with that. So I want to find the point where it's at its largest. So that's why I did that slice max. Let me see. Yeah. So what I want to calculate is, like, what were the total number of acres that fires covered at their largest. So I can delete that. I'm going to do it down here. So I'm going to do ST drop geometry. And then what I'm going to do is just summarize. No, I don't even, well, yeah. So total acres equals sum of GIS acres. Okay, it looks like there must be a missing, so I'm going to add na.rm equals true. Okay, there we go. So what I've done is for each incident at its largest, oh wait, I need to, oh no, I already did it here. I'm just calculating the total acres. So I'm going to create a new variable, or I'll just mutate total acres, and I'll say, actually, let me convert this to a nice looking number. I'll use the scales function, or the scales package, and I'm using the number function. So see if I, oh, that doesn't look good, or comma maybe, yeah. So what I did was I wanted to make, you know, instead of just the numeric, I wanted to make that into, you know, I wanted to add commas to make it easier to read. So now we have total number of acres, like almost 2 million acres. And actually, I'm almost wondering then, well, here. I'll just add, I'll make it total acres equals, so I'm going to make a title here. So I'm using str glue. So total acres of land at I don't know if I should say burned. Well, I'll say burned right now. I should probably say total number of acres have been burned because 2020 is not over. So you can see now I have a whole sentence here. So I basically just added that and then the text. So I'm going to do this. Yeah, let me leave that. Actually, no. Let me pull. So I'm going to do pull total acres. And what that means is I just get that. So I'm going to call this wildfires 2020 map title. So I'm assigning that, the result of that, to this fires 2020 map title. And let me show you what I'm going to do with this. So just because it takes forever, I'm going to comment that out. Yeah, I can actually, I think I should be able to run this in it. Oh, let me comment out my geom sf text just for now. Yeah, that's just going to go a lot faster. Still. Let me try it without the road, see if that goes any faster. Hi Francis, thanks for joining. All right, actually okay, that's better if I just show a few things. Okay, so let me add my title and then I'll mess around with some other things. So now I can say labs title equals wildfires 2020 map title. And you can see now it's added that at the top, which is awesome. So I'm like dynamically creating this title. Although actually now that I look at it, I actually think I should just, well, no, I should leave it because if I run this again in the future, I was going to change it to like nearly 2 million acres of land have been burned. But if I run this again in the future, that would not necessarily be accurate. So let me just leave it. I'm going to do one thing too. I'm going to load the HRBR themes package. And I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to do library extra font. And then I'm going to do, what is it, load, or no, wait. Oh, extra font. Load fonts. Just because I want to have access to some additional fonts. Okay, so I'm going to change this to theme, I'll do just theme Ipsum. Base family equals, so they use Calibri for their branding. So let me add that. Okay. I'm going to do a few things now. I like this, the theme. I like just kind of the overall look and feel it gives. A few things I don't need. I don't need grid lines, so there's an argument. I can do grid equals false to just get rid of all those grid lines. And I'll add axis. There's an axis text size. I'll just set that to 0. So because I don't actually want to see. That didn't work. Did I do something wrong? All right, so I actually made the axis text just like really small. It's 1 point, or no, 1 millimeter. I'm going to actually do it a different way. I'll just leave it like that, and I'll do theme axis text equals element blank. So I'm setting most of the theme through theme ipsum, but then I'm doing a little tweak there. Okay. For some reason, that only like works part of the time for me, and other times I have to type axis text x element blank and then axis text y element blank. I've never been sure why. Okay. Oh man, I really don't like Calibri. Just for now, for my own aesthetic propensities, I'm just going to switch to a font that I like better, which is Inter. I'm going to do one thing too. Obviously the title is too long. So total acres equals, I'll do str wrap, I don't know, like 30 or something. It's probably too small, too short. Oh, I need to do total acres 30. So what I'm doing is I'm basically going to have it wrap the title so it's not quite as long. Yeah, perfect. Cool. Let me actually look. The map looks really small. Actually, let me save it as a PDF and see how it looks there. Open it back up. Actually, it looks okay there. I'm probably just going to center the title. So I'll do that with the theme elements here. So I'll do plot title equals element text. Hjust equals 0.5. That'll center it. The other thing I'm going to actually do is I am going to change the color. So I'll do color equals, and I'm going to make it this TFF colors orange. Because that's actually going to match the outline of the fires when I add that back in. All right, let me see if that's not like too. It's okay. I might do some changes later on, but for now that's fine. Ooh, you know what I even might do? I think I'm going to do this. Wait, would that work? Yeah, actually, no. I'll just leave it for now. I was thinking about using GG text and just highlighting a certain portion of the title in orange. Maybe I'll do that in the future, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. So I'm going to do a couple of things. Okay, so these communities are now like way too big. Let me see if I just remove that size. Okay, that looks much more reasonable. And actually I can even see here. Okay, that looks good. The one thing I'm noticing though, so Phoenix and Talent are two communities in Southern Oregon that are actually really close together. You can see, it's a little hard to see, but they are basically right next to each other, so you can't even exactly see them. So I think what I'm going to do for that data is I'm going to add, so I need to change the shape. So I'll do shape equals 21, and that gives you a circle, but it'll be a circle that we can set both the color and the fill. So if I do that now, you can see color actually just shows up for the outside. So I could do, oh boy, that's still, they're just so close together. I almost want to do a jitter on them. I don't know if I can do any kind of jittering. So jittering just adds a little bit of randomness to when you have points in this case that are really close together. actually wonder, and Francis, if you know, please chime in, but if I can do like a jitter on, ooh, there's a, of course there is. In the SF package, there is an ST jitter. Okay, perfect. So ST jitter communities destroyed. I'll have to see. Let's see, what is it? Amount and factor. I'm going to try some random numbers and see what happens. And Francis, if you've used this, please chime in. Okay. The only problem is, okay, that's not good, because then it's actually like move things significantly. So I think I should probably, for those two, it's where I might actually need to do some jittering. Let me see. I'm almost wondering, I mean, I'd basically need to just do it for those two. Wonder what I can do. Francis, you said I need quite small numbers. 0.25 is the default. I don't have control over the direction. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that for now. So what if I set fill equals I wonder if I can set alpha just for my fill, but not. What if I do actually, no. Well, I was thinking if I could set alpha just for the fill, but not for the color, but let me actually try something else that might work. If I make the color white, so in other words, the outline, interesting, okay. Honestly, I might even just like manually move whichever town that is. I'll have to actually look. I don't know if that's Phoenix or Talent. I'm almost inclined to just move that town up a tiny bit. It's so small that I'm not. I don't actually. I know I'm kind of messing with the data, but honestly, I'm messing with it in such a small, tiny way that I don't really feel that bad. Okay, so it looks like Phoenix is slightly above. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go into my data raw where I import the data. And so here's my communities destroyed. Let me run that again. Oh wait, I need to load the GG map package, so I'll just load all those. And actually, I'll stop it here. View there. So I'm going to basically say for Phoenix, let's set the latitude. Let's just move it up a tiny bit. So I'm going to say mutate latitude equals case when. So if community equals Phoenix, then the latitude will, that's what it actually shows up as. So I'll make it, I don't know, 42.29. Otherwise, just keep the latitude as is. And then, yeah. All right, let me try running this again and see how it looks. All right, it looks a little bit better. And actually, I think that's probably good enough because I just want it to be visible on the map. Like clear that it's like 2 communities. All right, that's fine for now. Like it's definitely clear that there are 2 communities there. So I'm totally fine with that. Don't tell anyone that I mess with the data slightly. All right, let me go ahead and see if I can add labels to this, to the communities. So I'm going to do that with geom sf text. So it gave me an error. What was that error? Oh, right. I need the following aesthetic properties. So AES label equals, I need to tell it basically which column to use for the labels. All right. So it's added those in, and they are all overlapping. Oh man. Maybe I won't do that. Because I was thinking like if I had access to geom text repel, I could repel the plot so they don't overlap, but I don't know if I could do that here. I almost wonder if I shouldn't make, let me try this. I'm going to comment that out. So what I'm doing is I'm not making it an SF object. I'm just going to make it, I'm just going to use geom point instead. Let me see something. Oh, right. So now I need to give it, oops, y equals flat. I need to give it the aesthetic properties. Okay, that actually works. A little bit of a hack, so now I can have that show up. And now, let me add this here at library gg repel. So if I go down here, I can do geom text repel. And let me run this, and what did I do wrong? Oh, I've got 2 places where I'm declaring my aesthetic properties, so let me delete that. There we go. So now you can see it's repelled them, so they're no longer overlapping. Let's see. First thing, I'm going to change the font. I'll change it to that inter font that I like. It's also added axis titles here, so let me get rid of those. Oops. So I'm just going to do axis title X and axis title Y, element blank. So now, perfect, it's gotten rid of those again. Okay, that looks pretty decent. This, well, let me save that and open it up in the PDF. Because I always find, you know, looking at this, like, I'm like, oh, the text is too big, but it's so different. It depends, like, what you, what the size is when you actually, you know, make your final version. So, all right, cool. Ooh. Francis, you said, you think there's a way to set the default font for all ggplot elements in theme? I would like to know that, because the thing is, I think it's different if you're setting it for geom text, but maybe not. If you have code that you want to plop in the chat, let me know. I'd love to try it out. Let me actually try. Whoops. Adding the roads back in, which will take just a second. see what that looks like. Ironically, given that this is a map about wildfires, I'm reluctant to add that layer back in just because it takes so long. All right, so you can see the towns. Yeah. Why? Oh, I think that does the road actually end there? Like, look at this road here. That's weird. Hold on. Let me... save that again and see without the text there. So I don't know if the text is like, I don't know, weird. It looks like I can even see it there. It looks like for some reason it looks like the road is ending. That's weird. Actually, honestly, looking at it now, I see a few other places. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I'll have to check that out because that does not really look right to me. Okay, so if I add this back in, I'm gonna just comment out the roads again, just for simplicity, make it run a little faster. Yeah, I might wanna, let's see, for the text, I just make it a little smaller, make it size, or no, sorry, not 9, I don't know, 3. Yeah, I like the look of that better. Let me see what it looks like here. All right, that looks decent. Okay, cool. Let me actually just go ahead and run that. It'll take a second, but then I'll actually get to see if it looks decent in the PDF version. So I'm going to look at my notes because I had a couple other things I wanted to do. So I wanted to make a map of wildfires at their largest in 2020, also showing communities destroyed, as well as evacuation zones. I'm going to have to inquire about that evacuation orders data because it doesn't seem right. So I'll look into that more in the future. The other thing that I was thinking about making, or my contact at Ford Family Foundation asked if I could kind of really help them orient to think about how historic 2020 has been, and especially thinking about like where there have been fires kind of in multiple years. So I'm going to actually work with the data, and I want to build like kind of a series of maps that show this over time. So let me delete some stuff here. So I'll call that 2020 map, and let me put down here over time map, something like that. All right, still saving. All right, if anyone's still watching, well, actually, I can see that several people are still watching. I'd love to know who you are and where you're watching from. I know Francis is watching from the UK, but if there are other folks, I'd be really curious to know who you are and where you are. This is going to take just a second, and then I can actually start working again. Do this while I'm waiting. I'm just gonna get some stuff ready. Actually, no. I'm gonna do this. Wildfires all the time. Oh boy, this takes a long time. Oh, you're right, Francis. Thank you. I actually had seen that recently. Oh, yeah, that's so here, let me put this code in that Francis here, I'll make a little section theme stuff. So this line that Francis gave me allows you, in theory at least, to set defaults for various it allows you to set defaults, like for example the default font family for all places where you call geom text. But actually, you know, I'm going to actually open up another project where I have worked with a collaborator who has done this. Whoops, Spotify, you can go away. Oh boy, this is still going. I definitely cannot, unfortunately, plot a bunch of this right now because it just takes too long. I'm gonna have to get everything set up and then run it. So look at my code here. You know, Francis, I actually think so. There is this function, update geom defaults. I think. Like, let me just copy this actually. So this is from another project. Close that. So I think this just sets theme elements, which is different than geoms, but I think this here, I think, will set the defaults for geoms. So for example, set the default for any text geoms. We'll set the family as inter. I don't actually want the font to be bold. Size I'll delete because that was, actually I'll just set the size as, what did I do for size down here? 3, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about setting a default color. Oh man, I might have to quit this and come back. Yeah, I have no idea why it's taking so long. So let me actually just quit RStudio. This is not the project I want. That's actually the one where I got that function from. All right, let me open this up. So I am going to, here, let me make this bigger again. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and comment out those lines. Francis, I'm going to comment out yours I want to test the other one because I think that's the one that I actually need. something happen with that? Ah, I know what it is. I didn't save the new version of the or the communities destroyed. I didn't save that to my RDS file, so when it did it, it was using the old version, and so that using it with G on point and setting my X and Y aesthetics were not working. So I restarted my session. I'm going to run that all again. Oh wait, I should also, well, I'll let this run, but then I'll comment out the roads. Hi, Robert. I see that you're on. Thanks for joining. All right, that actually looks good. And actually, so what I should do is I should get rid of the inter there and see. I can't tell if that's inter. Let me try. Wait. Let me try. Let me find a really distinctive font. Here, I'll try brush script MT. Okay, it definitely, that did not work for some reason. Let me try yours, Francis. I don't think that's going to work because I think that's just on theme elements. And again, geom text is not set by theme elements. No. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just add it in manually. It's not that big a deal. Cool. So I got that there. So I'm going to go down here. And what I want to do is I want to do small multiples, make a map of each year. And I also want to calculate the total number of fires in that year. So let me st drop geometry. Let me see what the names are. Whoops. All right, so I'm just looking for like a unique identifier. Let me actually just pop this up so I can see it. Maybe it's this incident that I want. I think that's more likely what I want. Okay, so let me try that. What has that given me? So that's given me, let's see, 5,000 something. Basically what I want to know the largest number of acres that any fire burned in or covered in a single year. Is there a year? Is there like a date? Is there not a date? Oh, there we go, fire year. Wow, back to 1971. So I actually want to group by fire year and incident. Okay, so now what this should do, wait, I still have like 7,000. Okay. So I ungrouped. let me group by fire year. And then I'll do summarize total acres equals sum of total acres fire year equals 0. Hold on, let me look at. That's showing up as character. Let me just figure out what's going on with that. So I'll do drop geometry and then let me count fire year just to see all the observations of it. So it looks like there are a few where it's 0. So I'm just going to drop that all together. And honestly, okay, first thing I'm going to do, we don't need to go all the way back to 1900. Let me just do it from like, I don't know, 1980 on. Yeah, that's fine. So I need to first convert it to numeric. So I'm going to actually just use the parse number function. So I'll do fire year equals parse number. And then actually now if you see, if I do count fire year, actually it won't look any different. But what I can do now is I can say filter fire year is greater than or equal to 1980. Oh wait, that's, well, okay. That's still showing me all the fires. But now I can do this where I'm getting like the single fire for each year and then getting the sum, hopefully, for that year. Total acres not found input is in group 1. Let me add that. Is that what's causing the issue, perhaps? No. Is there something weird going on with 1980? But it also seems like it's an issue with the first group, and I don't know why. Because it also gave me an issue with year 0 when that was the first one. When I do the Francis, you wrote, when you do the first group, it will lose the fire acres variable. Wait, what am I doing? Francis, I think you're telling me the right thing, and for some reason my thick skull is not allowing it to come in. Because I still have GIS. Oh, duh. It's not total acres. I want sum of GIS acres. I think. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, let me pop that up just so I can take a look at it. Whoa, 2050? Odd. Or get rid of that. So let's see, I'll filter basically anything above 20. Well, I'll do, oh wait, I should ungroup. And then filter, fire year is less than or equal to 2020. Pop that up just so I can look and make sure everything looks good. Okay, great. Now we have 1980 through 2019. Okay, cool. Let me actually just copy this like total acres here. It seemed like it made sense, Francis. You said your comment was nonsense, but it seemed good. All right, cool. So we can see the total acres burned. All right, something's up. The 2019 data is definitely not right. But we can see some of the other stuff here. So what I was thinking to do first of all, so let me actually save this. So I'll do total acres burned by year. I can drop that view at the end. So I could just make a bar chart of this. So I could do x equals fire year and y equals total acres. Just do g on call plus that. So, oh wait, that's actually want. Wait, hold on. My brain is not working now. Fires, the year on the X, and on the Y, I want total acres. But why are my bars going horizontally? What have I done wrong here? Oh, duh, I'm an idiot. It's because I made that character. So let me try without doing that. There we go. Okay. Cool. So now I have a bar chart. I don't have all the way to 2020. I might have to add that manually from the 2020 data. But let me do this. Actually, hold on. I'll just copy this. I could do this more efficiently. I could like set this as a theme, but for now I'll just keep it. So wait, I do actually want axis text. I just don't want the axis titles for now, because I'll add a descriptive title that will make that obvious. I actually think I am going to drop, I have a vision for how this is going to work. So I'm going to drop the axis title. Wait, no, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm also going to drop the axis text on the Y. It's too long, I don't like it. Okay. So I know it isn't obvious at all what's going on here, but let me... so what I'm going to try and do actually is I am going to use the GG highlight package, which I always tend to mess up. So let's see if I can actually do it. I want to make a small multiples chart that shows, what I'm imagining is kind of like one map for each year that shows the fires in that year. And then under it, a bar chart that shows the total number of, or the total acres for that year. So, so first thing I could do actually is I could just do a facet wrap by fire year. So it's going to take a little while. All right, what I'm going to do just to make this run faster, I will just do it from 2014 on. All right. Whoops, what am I doing? I want to set the fill to be equal to fire year. So if I just do that, it'll give me a crazy rainbow. Or no, it'll give me a this because it's continuous data. Actually, I think what I might want to do, I'm just going to make fire year character. Now it will probably give me that crazy rainbow. Yeah. All right. So this on its own is not helpful at all. But what I want to do is I'm going to use, what is it? GG highlight. Let me see if this works, and if it does, then hopefully I can explain it. Yeah, perfect. All right. So what I want to do is basically have a bar chart that shows every year, but then highlights the particular year. So a few things going on here. First of all, it doesn't need to be a different color. I could have it be the same color each time it's highlighted. So let me see. Within GG highlight, if I can just set that, or maybe I need to do gosh, I feel like it's like one of these, but this again is where I always mess this up. I'm gonna try some things and see what happens. I feel like I've done this use group by in the past and it worked, but I can't say that I understand why. No, that's not working. All right, I'm not going to worry about that for now then. Wait, no, I want to keep that. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to actually highlight or I'm going to delete the, I don't need the text on the x-axis either at this point because that actually shows up as the title. So we can see that. Okay, cool. Change that to 2019. Less than 2019. All right, now we can see, again, I don't like the color, but I'll deal with that later. Let me remove the legend. So legend position equals none. So this is kind of what I want to have. And what I'm imagining is like on top of each bar chart, there will be a map where we'll actually show the fires. And that's actually probably what I'll build next time. Let's see. Well, yeah. Okay. So that's there. So I think the only thing I need to figure out, let me actually look really quick if I can figure it out. If not, I'll probably just leave it. Let me look at GG highlight. Facet is actually exactly what I want to do. I don't know if there's a way just to set the same color. I mean, I'm sure there is a way. I don't know what that way is off the top of my head. No, I'll have to look it up between now and next time. So yeah, basically what I'm imagining having is that map at the top and then a bar chart underneath it. And there'll be one for each year because then we'll be able to see visually both the map as well as just a simple bar chart that allows us to compare year after year how how many fires have been, how many acres have been burned, etc. So with that, I think I'm going to wrap for today. I enjoyed working with folks. Thanks, Francis and Robert, for joining and chatting along with me. I will post, I'll be back again in the next few days. I'll post when I have time to do that. And yeah, I will hopefully be close to having something that I can share with my client. All right, thanks folks. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you next time.